Okay, so, Phase 4. This came out during a 1970s parade of killer animal swarm movies. Halfway through the decade, Jaws showed how successful just one animal could be in causing horror, but swarm movies kept coming out. If you haven't seen any of these movies, they usually follow a similar series of plot points. Mankind is shown as being ignorant to its surroundings, destroying natural resources, and displacing the animals within an area. There's usually one lone environmentalist who has some idea of what's going on,
The problem is ants. Regular little ants, like right here.
but who nobody listens to until it's too late.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's ridiculous.
The animals turn out to be far smarter than the humans thought, and they retaliate accordingly. A few of my favorites from the genre during this period are Frogs, The Food of the Gods, and The Swarm, the latter mostly for the casting of Michael Caine, who can make just about anything enjoyable. Most films differentiated themselves by using a different kind of animal. Night of the Lepus featured killer rabbits, Daddy's Deadly Darling focused on killer pigs, and so on. Phase 4 used ants, and while there are a number of other films which did the same during the 70s, Phase 4 stands out for a number of reasons. First, it was the only feature film to be directed by Saul Bass, a man whose short films were highly acclaimed, but who is primarily known for being a title designer, his most famous work including the opening credits for the Alfred Hitchcock films Vertigo and Psycho, among others. You can see his influence as a graphic designer throughout Phase 4 in the striking shot compositions and unique, memorable imagery. What I want to make note of, however, is specifically how this movie shows its antagonists, the ants. Most of these killer swarm movies show images of people covered in the creatures, or wide shots of the hive moving as a unit, but Phase 4 tries to depict the finer details in what a coordinated assault by insects would mean. It tries to show them as intelligent beings, and treats the attackers with respect, showing them in detail as they perform their tasks. This is done to the point that these scenes are lit dramatically, as you would any conventional scene with human actors, despite the tiny size of the action. In fact, the first 10 minutes of the movie, or 12% of the total running time, plays without any shot of a human being at all. It's simply ants and establishing shots. When the ants suffer casualties in their standoff against the scientists, we see them gather the bodies of their fallen and mourn the loss. And in another scene in which they bring back a piece of the poison being used by the humans so that their queen can use it to create an immunity in her offspring, it shows each ant in the process sacrificing itself to pull the mass just a little bit further. No other film that I have seen in this genre gives the animals as much respect. This attention to detail and demonstration of the ants' abilities makes the movie far more frightening than your more common variant on the theme. A species suddenly becoming violent is eerie, but a species as simple as an ant suddenly becoming intelligent enough to warrant their own close-ups is a truly unique kind of horror.